So I'm on my way to go to a Bible study. I wanted to come on here because, and I am going to post this video because I want to say what I have to say and not have to be afraid of what I say. You know, God is a very serious God, and God, the being, God, the creator of the heavens and the earth and everything in it, of us, me, you, everything. And Jesus Christ, his son, that was manifest as a human being, as Jesus Christ, born as a baby into this world, lived a holy life, then died a criminal's death, you know. So the way I see it is, to me, God is a very serious God. And today I was at work and I was just kind of analyzing some of the things that I was saying. And God was like really dealing with me about the harsh things that I've said. And it was kind of, whenever he does this, it's really convicting. And it's crazy because people you know, like they want to say, oh, like I'm just an a-hole, or I'm just, this is how I am. And, you know, and then I'm like, okay, you clearly, it's not that you don't know Jesus, but it's like, I know how Jesus deals with me. And it's not good. It's not good. Like, if you don't know how to like apologize and help people and love people and take care of your family, but it's not just you and your household. It's not just about that. Like, you should be able to take care of your sphere of influence, like the sphere of people that God entrusts you with, right? So it was embarrassing to sit through. I was working, and he was just like bringing all of these convicting things that I've said. Like, I don't post a lot of videos because of what the things that I do say. And it's hard not to feel. It's hard not to feel like feelings. It's hard not to say these things. You know, it's even worse when you have to try to articulate it, because a lot of times people do things, like they'll do things to you, and then like they'll try to turn it around on you. It's really evil. Like, I feel like, and it's crazy because I don't even have, like, I feel so sad for me, because there's people in out there in this whole entire world that have been hurt like I have, and we lived through it. It was something that we lived through, we made it through, but they're able to like put it all out there, and then they've released it, and then God will like advance you to the next level. But me, I was in denial for so long because I didn't want to believe. Like, I didn't want to believe, even though God was showing me, God was telling me. And then I was like, well, there's no way that I could prove this. There's no way that I could, there's like, and then not only that, but like, but I know now, it's hard. It's so hard. And it's not as hard as we think, but like, I've been through so much, you know what I mean? And I went through so much rejection and just so much betrayal, and, all of these things, And so, but so anyway, so he was convicting me about some of the things I had said. And because some people don't deserve, oh my gosh, it's so sad. Some people don't deserve for you to be mad. You could be mad at the one individual that hurt you, but don't take down the whole department. You know what I mean? Don't generalize the whole the whole whatever. And that's what I was doing because I was so hurt. But there was this other thing that came to me. Okay, so let's do all the ugly stuff first. Okay, so I was thinking about like generational curses because I I in my family and in my life, I'm like there's something lingering in my bloodline, and I hate it and I don't like it, and it makes me feel like, you know what I mean, like we live in 2025, like we've come like long ways down the line, right? And there is no, and I know, but this is the whole part of being like a generational curse breaker, is that you bring your bloodline, you are the first one in your bloodline to break a poverty curse. It doesn't mean that you still continue to sit in poverty or you still accept the ways of poverty, but I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. And then everybody wants to say this and say that. And I know what God is clearly saying to me. And I don't have to listen to your, it's not about not listening to your opinions, because I respect wise counsel. And then 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yeah, but then why is God like saying this? You know what I mean? Like, so then I think that's why our personal relationship really does matter. And there's just been situations where, but it's like so weird because like we're called to like, and I'm not talking about love each other in the sense of, I don't know. I don't know about that. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that topic. But anyway, so I was this thought was floating around in my mind because of something I was saying yesterday in my video. And I was like, I kind of like internalized it a little bit, and I was like, God, like, is my life in shambles and in my kids' lives and everything? Is it because of me? You know what I mean? Like I just had to, I internalized the whole thing, like, because you know and because you look at the older generation, and you realize that they had a duty for our generation to uphold and to break that poverty curse. But I don't believe that it was for them, because in the Bible, remember, he said it wouldn't be somebody, but it would be his son to build the house of God or whatever. And so that's what I kind of equate this with, is like, maybe it wasn't for them. Maybe it was God's strategy for it to be a certain somebody within the bloodline. You know what I mean? But it doesn't feel good, because I know, and this is the thing that terrifies me. This is where, so I was like thinking about it, and I was like looking at like my life, my kids' life, and it's not just about me and mine. I care deeply too much about everybody, and that's my problem. And there's people are gonna say, you could say whatever you want about me, but I know me, and people that know me know me. So anyway, long story short, I was like looking, and I was like, is my kids' life in shambles because of me? You know what I mean? Like, is it like some kind of generational curse that is within it? And so I didn't know this, but you can have a generational curse if your older generation right above you, your parents, or like, the people, if they hated God. We think that is so impossible, but no. Okay, whenever I first started my journey with Jesus, right? I thought that there was more people in the United States that loved Jesus. And then I was acknowledging here, there, everywhere, and everything, and then come to find out there's a bunch of darkness. And I'm like, and there's a lot of people, but it was few and far in between in the beginning of my journey. And then like I would acknowledge him in these ways, and people just weren't receptive. They didn't reciprocate like that same love for Jesus. And I was just like, oh, okay, like, no judgment or anything, I don't care. But for me, this is the guy that saved my soul from the pits of hell whenever I was going mentally insane. He met me where I was at in shambles. But anyway, So long story short, I was thinking this way. So I get on there and Google it. And I was like, what is this? Like, what is this? What is this? And then I get on there and I was watching this thing about bloodline curses and everything. And it can be a lot of things, but this is the terrifying thing, is that if you love and care about your kids and their generations, and it doesn't matter if your baby daddy got the kids or the baby mama or the grandma has the kids or whoever, if you don't get right with God, it doesn't matter if you're without your kids or with your kids. If you have to do it for, like, it's a spiritual thing. I don't know if I'm making sense. I don't know. But whenever I look at my kids, I think, like, I mean, it's like, okay, so the curse of domestic violence, abuse, the generational curse of my grandma. I don't know much about my great grandma Mary on my grandpa's side, but on my grandma Pearl, my grandpa, my grandma. So my grandma's mom and dad died in a car accident on their way to go get liquor, alcohol, you know. And so then it's crazy because a lot of Native American history, that's how a lot of Native Americans passed away, in a car accident on their way to go get liquor. So anyway, so after my grandma's mom and dad passed away, all of her sisters had to mother her. And so they were super mean to her. So she learned at a young age, I hate women because this is how they are. So then she has her daughters, and I don't know the rest of the relationship, you know, it was just like whatever, but my mom tended to get like the short end of that stick right there. And then so we got hit with it, is, you know, so, but it ends with me in the sense of like, when I look at my daughters, I respect them. I love them. I want to take care of them. And this extends to baby girls in general. You know what I mean? My sons, same thing. Like, so how this evil curse, instead of trashing my kids and saying like, you know, I don't feel like we're connecting. I want my parental rights terminated, whatever. I want to walk away, whatever. There's something deeper with there's something deep in our hearts that is of God. And we just, you know, it's of God, and it's a biblical thing, you know, to love your children. And so, yeah. So, but I was like, what is this? You know, like there's definitely a poverty curse, because it seems like money comes and then it goes, money comes and then it goes. They don't know to cancel. Like if somebody's afflicting and affecting it this way with their witchcraft or with something, it could be a curse. You know what I mean? But hating God, hating his son Jesus, that's a whole nother curse to be broken. And it's so crazy because, okay, so if you go to my community page, I'll try to link it so that way you guys can go there, because I don't know, maybe somebody's dealing with the same thing, or maybe I'm just an anomaly out here, just off by myself, whatever, I don't care. But he said we deal with so much that the previous generations never choose to deal with. And I know part of my hard journey that I went through was because of these generational curses, these generational demons that have afflicted my bloodline. But this is how you know it's of God is, could you imagine whenever I was going through my demonic psychosis, they call it psychosis. I know it's pure demons. You know it's demons. If you ever try to do a fast and you try to do anyway. So, whenever I was in the pits of hell dealing with this thing, I was living on earth, but I was high on drugs and going through like this evil thing, right? I used to say this all the time, and I used to say, I would never wish this on my worst enemy. You know what I mean? So can you imagine not wanting it for your worst enemy, but then not even wanting to battle it to where your kids wouldn't even get hit with it? You know what I mean? And not even like just giving up like mid battle and saying, you know what? It's too hard. It is hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But I think, and I don't even know how, but I know like every now and again, this thing will come upon me, and it's real. It's like the Antichrist spirit, basically. And it's just, you can either flow with it and just like stay in that loop of like demonic things, like saying evil things in your heart, you know, whatever. But whenever that thing comes upon me, we have to learn how to say, no, I love Jesus, and I'm with him. I love him, and I'm with him, and I'm gonna be saved by him. That's my Savior. That's my Lord. That's my Father. That's the one who cares about me. That's the one who protects me. We have to stand on the word of God. That's Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nisi, Jehovah, you know, Shalom, the Lord my peace. You know, declaring these things and decreeing these things. And you know, it's so hard because I think that people don't even care to take out their time of day to even do this stuff, and it's hard. You know what I mean? Like I mean, but it's gonna be the best thing for you. But a lot of people don't like to be consecrated. A lot of people can't stand being alone. You know, being alone with the Bible is the safest place for anybody. Like your mind, your mental health, you know, anything, everything, the Bible and consecration to him, like being alone with the Lord, with the Bible is in a notebook and a pen and a paper, you know, so that way you can actually remember like the things, you know. So yeah, and then so I've seen somehow some way like I'm able to like pull up like it must be like the algorithm. I could pull up other people's like stuff on there. But anyway, this guy, this boy that I know from where I'm from, he I didn't know. I'm not friends with him. I don't talk to his sister. I don't even know, you know. But he was in a long custody battle. It seems like it's a custody battle because of the post or whatever, but he was talking about how he got his daughter back. It must have been like custody or something, you know. And everything he said in there like really hit me in the heart, because I was like, that's the same thing that I'm going through. Like, yes, it doesn't feel good. It feels horrible. Like, and I was like, like, you're questioning my mental health. You're questioning me. You know, I said, you guys are believing this whole lie, you know, and attacking the whole CPS department. Like, I had so much evil hatred in my heart. But after I read this post or whatever, I had like this fresh perspective that, you know, sometimes God puts us through, and it's not even that long. Like 6 months to me is a long time, but like a month or so is not even that long, you know. And even if it has to go longer, it's not even that bad, because, you know, and then, but then the flip side to that is God could do whatever he wants, but why would he want you without your kids? Why would that even be a case when my kids are not with me? Yes, they're with family, but you know what I'm saying? And so like sometimes God puts us through these long, extensive battles, and honestly, sometimes it feels like how can I don't know. But whenever you look at the story of Jesus, like God crushed his son, and he was eager to crush him. And I know that sounds like weird and you probably don't even understand what I'm saying, but like God was eager to crush his sons because it was going to save the rest of us, you know. And so I don't know. It was just a new perspective for me. Like, yeah, this is a hard time. Yes, it's sad and everything, but I have grown closer to God, and I have, you know, I'm learning. It's every day for me. Like, I used to love learning, but then like sometimes when you go in the deeper things with of God and everything, it kind of gets like, I don't know, like it really convicting. Like you have to change, you have to grow, you have to learn new ways of doing things because obviously the old ways have not gotten anybody anywhere, you know? And I mean, people could say otherwise, and I know it's gonna, you know, it doesn't matter, but um, so yeah. But that just gave me a fresh perspective of like my life and battles and, you know, just stay humble and pray and believe, you know, just believe like whatever the good outcome is in any situation, believe on that, think on that, you know, like what would be the good outcome in any situation that you face, you know, any battle. Well, hopefully, you know, I don't know. I don't know everything and I don't pretend to know it all. I know every day God is teaching me something and I know that some things are harder to learn and some things are harder to get through because it just feels like, you know what I mean? There's some things I just don't understand about this life and you know people and situations but and that's what I was like like I was like thinking about it like I can't take accountability for somebody else's behavior, somebody else's actions, you know, I can't do that. Like that's not God. You know, I have to be in control of me, you know, the way I live, the way I think, the way I talk, the way I act, and, you know, asking Jesus to fill me so he can live through me, so he can speak to you guys, so he can, you know, operate through my life however he wills, you know. But and generational curses, I mean, you have to, if you, I mean, you have to, if you love your kids, you would get serious with God and with Jesus, and you would say, I want to know how to, you know, there's so many things about in the Bible that talks about children, and if you just write the scriptures down and declare them over your children every day, you know, it says, I mean, people always say, like, you know, if we want to cherry pick from the Bible and whatever, that's what it's there for. You know what I mean? Like, it says, I never seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging bread. Can you imagine your children never having to beg for money or food or clothes or anything like that? You know what I mean? Like, and so many people, they, how, I'm not even gonna go there. God is good and Jesus is good. Jesus is king. Jesus has victory over everything, you know? So I hope you guys like my video and like and subscribe to my channel. I hope I don't sound too crazy, but yeah. So, and comment if you don't agree with something. But yeah, bye.